people, it's me, Anja. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new book tag. Today's book tag is a Sapphic Book Tag created by my lovely friend Teresa over at Sappho's Library. I love her videos so much. She gives out great book recommendations and I love her videos so much. I sincerely look forward to them every single week and she consistently puts out great content and I love her so much. She's one of the inspirations behind my channel, so we love to see it. I love her literally so much. So with that, I highly recommend her channel and her as a person because she is so lovely and her channel really represents that. So yeah, I will leave her original tag in the description below as well as her entire channel because like I said, her channel is quite wonderful. So anyway, the first question is Cryos War. Name a book with an enemies to lovers trope. Honestly, the enemies to lovers trope is probably one of my least favorite tropes. I used to be more ambivalent about it, but now that it's becoming more and more popular, I'm starting to dislike it more and more. So honestly, I would say that the only answer that I can really come up with is today and tonight, tomorrow, because with all tropes, even with my least favorite ones, they're all exceptions, and this is like the only exception. You know? Anyway, this book is YA contemporary and it stars two Jewish teenagers. Actually, I think that this story has only one perspective in it. But anyway, it's YA contemporary and it's an academic rival to lovers trope book and it's so good. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was so well done and like I said, it has Jewish representation in it, so we love to see it. I think that all of Rachel's books have Jewish representation in it. And I think that she's a Jewish author herself, so yay. I'm so excited for her next book. I think it comes out the 1st of June. I think it's called We Can't Keep Meeting Like This, or something like that. Anyway, I'm so excited because this book was literally so good, and it's quite possibly my favorite book by her, currently. So yeah, there's that. The second question is, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Name a book about a celebrity, whether that celebrity be fictional or real. So the first book that comes to mind is I Was Born for This, written by Oseman. This book is absolutely so good. It's YA contemporary and it's the only 5-star book that I've read this year. So by default, it's my favorite book that I've ever read this year so far, and it's absolutely so good. Oseman is such a talented author. I feel like we all know that by this time, but like she is so talented. This book was so good. The main character is a transgender guy who's in part of a boy band, if I remember correctly, so he's a really popular celebrity in this universe. And the other main character is a Muslim girl, and I don't really remember how they meet. Oh yeah, she's a fan of his boy band. Right. Anyway, this story is so good, and it's so wonderful, and I just really enjoyed it. So with that, I highly recommend it. The fifth question, I don't know why I just said the fifth question. The third question is Girls with Paper and Fire. Name a book with Asian representation. Funny that you asked this because I just made a video a few days ago talking about my favorite Asian fantasies part 2, and like before that I did a video called my favorite underrated Asian books. So I have many books that come to mind. And the first one that comes to mind is Where Dreams Descend. This story is so good. It's YA fantasy, and it's set in a world where magic is both celebrated and feared, and it follows 2 magicians, and it's set during a magical competition, I'm pretty sure, and it's so good. I absolutely loved it. I love the world building, I love the setting, I love the plot, I love the characters, I love the romance. I'm so excited to read the sequel. I think the sequel comes out in August. I'm not completely sure, but at any rate, I'm so excited for it because this book was so good. Some people have found the world building to be a little bit confusing, and in that sense it kind of reminds them of the Night Circus, but at any rate, I really enjoyed it, and I also really love the Night Circus as well. But anyway, that's not the point. The next question is These Witches Don't Burn. Name a book with magic. So finding a book for this question is very easy for me, considering the amount of YA fantasy that I consume. So my answer is The Clown's Game, written by Evelyn Skye. This book is so good. It's absolutely so good. It's one of those like magical competition books, and it has 2 magicians in it, and I love this book so much. Evelyn Skye is such a wonderful author. I think this book is her debut book, if I'm not mistaken, and honestly, it doesn't read as a debut book because it's so good. I love her world building, I love the setting, I love the plot, I love the two characters. They're such well-developed, distinct characters, and I love the romance so much. This book is so good, and the sequel is also absolutely so amazing. So I highly recommend this duology because it's so underrated. So yeah. The next question is, this is how you lose the time rule. Name a book with star-crossed levels. Honestly, I don't think that I've ever read a book with star-crossed levels, unless you count The Hunger Games and Romeo and Juliet. And I hated Romeo and Juliet so much. I hate that book so much. It is so bad. Why is it considered a classic? I mean, I know why it's considered a classic. It's because of Shakespeare and all this other stuff. But like, it shouldn't be considered a classic because it's so bad. So yeah, The Hunger Games, on the other hand, is really good. So I would just have to say The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Although honestly, I don't think that she should have written the prequel, and that book was bad. But the original trilogy is so good and it's so iconic, and it deserves all of its hype and so much more. So yeah. I feel like I don't have to explain to you what The Hunger Games are all about because I feel like everybody knows what they're about. So yeah. Anyway, the next question is Wilder Girls. Name a book that you would bring with you if you were stranded on a deserted island. Here's the thing. If I knew that I was going to be stranded on a deserted island for some reason, I would want to get off the deserted island immediately. Like, I just want to leave. I would just want to leave and get off the deserted island. I know that this question is supposed to be like a fun question and to just think of like your favorite book or whatever, but I want to get off the deserted island. You know the Tom Hanks film where he gets stuck on a deserted island for like 15 years or 5 years or whatever it was? I would have died within the first year. I would have completely died. So anyway, if I knew that I was going to get stranded on a deserted island, I would want to leave as soon as I possibly can. So I would get whatever book to help me to get off the deserted island. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, the next question is The Miseducation of Cameron Post. Name your favorite book-to-screen adaptation. Honestly, all I can think of right now is Shadow and Bone, which is not the answer that I would have come up with, because I know that even though everybody really loved the adaptation, I was personally really disappointed by it. So I would say that my favorite book-to-screen adaptation still remains to be Catching Fire. I think that this screen adaptation is so good, and it was done so well. And yeah, it's the only Hunger Games screen adaptation that I've seen, which I've been told is a very good idea. I've been told not to watch the other films. But anyway, this one is my absolute favorite. So yeah, there we have it. The next question is How to Make a Wish. What's an upcoming release that you're excited for? So I went through my to-read list on Goodreads, and I chose The Art of Running Away, which comes out the 16th of November. And it's a middle grade contemporary, and I'm so excited for it because it follows a young girl who wants to be an artist, and her brother ran away 6 years ago, I believe, so she hasn't seen him in a good minute. So when her parents' family business starts to like go badly, like in a financial sense, she reaches out to him for help, but she discovers like why he ran away, and she discovers like a few other things. And anyway, I'm so excited for it because I love it when middle grade stories talk about like the more messy side of sibling relationships. And since there seems to be a pretty huge age gap between the two of them, since I believe she is 12 years old and her older brother is an adult, which means that they're at least 6 years apart. Although he ran away 6 years ago, so maybe he's older than 6 years from her. Anyway, I'm really excited to read this book because it sounds so good. I love it when books talk about messy sibling relationships. I'm so excited to learn why he ran away and her relationship to her and all this stuff. I love it when stories talk about family, so I'm so excited. And also, I'm so sorry for all the wind noise in this video. Obviously, I can't control it. So yeah, this story comes out the 16th of November, and I'm so excited. Anyway, the next question is Priory of Orange Tree, or of the Orange Tree. what's the biggest book you've ever read? So the biggest book I've ever read is technically The Count of Monte Cristo, and I don't remember the author of that book, but anyway, that's another classic like Romeo and Juliet that I didn't really absolutely love, but that's the biggest book I've ever read. It's like over 1,200 pages. I don't really remember that much of what happened in it, if I'm being completely honest, because it was so long and it was so big and it was so unbelievably unnecessarily thick. So yeah. The next question is Saw Kill Girls. Name a spooky book. Honestly, I don't read that many spooky books because like I'm not really scared by any books, if that makes any sense. Like I don't really read paranormal stories or anything like that about like ghosts or demons or anything like that. So I don't really have an answer for this one, unfortunately. Sorry to disappoint. The last question is recommend a Sapphic book. You guys know that I've made like 4 videos talking about Sapphic books, and each of those videos I've talked about 8 books that I've recommended that are Sapphic, that I've rated either 4 stars if not 5. So that's like 32 books that I have recommended that are Sapphic. So out of those 32 books, the one that I love the most, well, there are many that I love the most, but some of my personal favorites, one of my personal favorite one is Late to the Party. I love this book so much. I know I just talked about it in a video last week or something like that, in my favorite queer contemporaries video. So with that, I will just say that it's YA contemporary and it's so good, and it's Sapphic and it's wonderful and it's lovely, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, that's the end of the Sapphic book tag. Like I said, please go subscribe to Teresa. I love her videos so much. They're so consistently wonderful and lovely and incredible. So yeah, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below one of the flower emojis if you made it all the way to the end of the video. I don't really care which one. Just comment down below one of them if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.